let's go ahead and get started. I'll put this up like I just, okay, there we go. Thanks for being here, everyone. I'm we have two of the JV partners on the call today. One, Avish Parisher. Avish, say hi.
Hello.
And Bill Deweese. Bill, say hello.
Howdy.
Okay, so first thing I wanted to let you guys know, and what our format is here for those of you who have not been on one of these before, is you get to sit in and occasionally even ask questions. I'm sure we may have some time for those on anything that I talk about with the JV partners. And I just wanted to give you guys a report. I'm on track right now. I've been I've been beating the horse on this for like the past few weeks, but let me just tell you about my Kindle ebook stuff. Um, I have been cranking out 3,000 to 5,000 word articles once a week, and I've been putting them up. And my theory here is that eventually, if I got just 100 or so ebooks, Amazon's going to start sending me some nice checks. Right now, the number that I have, and if I showed you guys, I don't have it on this computer because I'm using my other laptop here, but the numbers are looking really, really interesting and are starting, to move up. And I've also noticed something very important for both you guys to sort of take notes on, which is this, that the sort of the process that seems to be working for me is get some reviews, from friends or whatever. So at least when somebody goes to a given ebook or an article, they don't go, nobody's even reviewed this yet. Why should I even risk it? So get a couple reviews from wherever. And by a couple, I mean, let's say between 2 and 4 reviews. Okay, and start the pricing at 99 cents. Okay, so start it there. Now, once you start to get some sales, I have found, and again, it really, maybe it's the topic, I'm not sure, but when I go from 99 cents, which by the way, Amazon only gives you either a 30 or 35% cut, to $2.99, which is a 70% cut, you're looking at the difference between here, something like basically 30 cents versus something like here of, it's about $2. So what I'm finding is that the number of units sold at 99 cents is not substantially more than the amount of units sold at $2.99. Now, maybe that's because people actually consider 99-cent items to be sort of, maybe they're just crappy and they aren't worth it. By the way, hi, Dave Hamilton.
Hey, Fred.
So, I mean, this is what I'm finding. So what's the interesting thing is that over the last, I've had some stuff up on Amazon for about a year. And the most that I've ever seen in terms of total dollars monthly, I think was $70. As a result of my new efforts, so far this month, I'm at about 205. Now, let's just say that trend line continues. Now, I don't know if I can, if it's going to be an arithmetic progression, but my goal, like I think I told you guys before, is by December 2012, by the end of this year, I would like the check from Amazon to be a minimum of $2,000 for the month. And I think it's doable. So let me go through. So first off, for those of you who are, if you haven't heard this before, when you say an ebook, it doesn't necessarily have to be an ebook. It can be an e-article that you can put it up on Amazon. So, and Avish, why don't you check in? This is the site, by the way, where you sign up. Don't put the www in front of it. What are your numbers like so far, Avish?
Well, mine are considerably small. Considerably smaller than yours. This month I've sold a total of 8 Kindle books this month.
8 total? Is that right?
8 total, yeah.
Got it. Now, remember, it's not about the absolute numbers. It's about the trend line. How many did you sell the previous month? I mean, ballpark. Was it?
I think it was less.
Yeah. Now, do you have?
It was less. Well, let me check.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that now how many of those, or do you have 2 things up right now, don't you? Avish? Hello?
It was a transcript of an interview, but no one's bought that. Hello?
Got it. No, I'm getting a big lag Hold on. Wait a second, Avish. Let me try Dave. Hey, Dave, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, Fred.
Okay, let's see if there's any lag on your side. Doesn't sound like there is.
Are you talking to Dave or me?
I was talking to Dave.
Oh, yeah. I hear the lag too with the Avish, but I'm not hearing
I'm
it
not
with
hearing
you
it.
and I.
I'm not hearing it with you. Now, one of the things that I'm doing here that your dad was nice enough to help me promote, and this is sort of issue number 2 if we want to talk about that. And Avish, basically what I'm saying is it doesn't really matter how many absolute units, it's the trend. It's not the absolute number, the trend line. And if it's going in the right direction, who cares if it takes 2 or 3 years to get a couple $1,000s coming in from Amazon? It's real money. And not only that, but it'll probably keep coming in, or at least that's what I hope.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, we have on the phone, and this Bill DeWeese, this is your, this is your competition for Client of the Year here, and it's Jeffrey Greco, who owns a site or has a site that we're working on. I'm working on with him called, yes, folks, findajewishwife.com. Hey, you may laugh, but Jeffrey's going to be collecting money all the way to the bank, So here he is. So this is the site, and there's Jeffrey's smiling face. We're still doing some, Dave, you're putting it up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've done with Jeffrey and the site?
Well, he's just a good-looking Jewish man, and it's coming together very well. But the idea is, the funny thing is, Jeffrey and I laughed about this, but we're finding, our artist is trying to find pictures, because he said, I don't want the trashy type of banner. But I was talking to my artist, I'm like, okay, how do we search for attractive Jewish women? I don't know if it goes, I'm not sure what they look like, but anyway, we found some that he liked. But the whole idea is, it's a niche. eHarmony and all these sites, they do very well, and there's a market. I'm from what Jeffrey says, for Jewish men that are looking for a good Jewish wife.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, the site is going to promote Jeffrey and his services and his products, and a blog, and how to get in touch with him, maybe for some coaching. And it's just coming together now. But this is going to be a video intro. But the whole idea is that he absolutely dominates that niche of guys looking for a good Jewish woman.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is that Jeffrey also, by the way, everybody who I coach will be just shocked and amazed by these numbers. I asked Jeffrey to put together an outline, right? And I said, put together sort of a brain dump of everything you know about this topic, of everything about the topic, right? Jeffrey comes back to me with a 51-page outline. I mean, this guy's not messing around, right? So he's got a lot of content. Now, today when I spoke to him about an hour ago, he has come up with 16 modules. And so that's basically his formula for how to find a Jewish wife in 16 modules. I said, okay, we throw an introduction on there. We throw a conclusion on there. So now the book is going to have a total of, and then we're going to have resources. So the book is going to have basically, it's going to have 19 sections, 16 modules, an intro, a conclusion, and a resource section. And, Jeffrey's going to write the book. But the one thing I told him to do today, which he's going to do, I'm sure, and probably get it done before I can even turn my head, is he's going to take one of the modules and then divide them. And this is good for everybody. He's going to take one module, right? And he's going to put an A, a V, or a T next to the sub-elements within the module to determine whether or not the best way to talk about that information is audio, video, or text. So the first thing I had him do, he created this extensive outline, which anybody who's putting together any kind of a niche market event or seminar or website should do this. What you want to do is do a brain dump of all your content. Now, again, he really, really got down to the fine tuning of this and got the 51 pages of an outline. So it's going to be pretty easy for him then to take one of the modules. I said, let's start with one, identify whether or not the best way to teach those subsections of that module are either audio, video, or text. And so then from there, he's going to do, and this is one of the things that everyone should do. I said to him, and Bill, this will sound familiar to you. I said, don't worry about trying to make this perfect. Just knock out some products. Could you sort of speak to Jeffrey as if he were on the line here with what I told you to do and how that worked? Bill DeWeese?
Fred, you have to ask the question again. My daughter just came in to tell me we just got a third attendee for the audiobook seminar.
Nice. Good job.
So I was a bit distracted, so I apologize.
Yeah, he was doing a dance in the office there.
I was. I did a little jig.
You mean you got one? You got another paying one, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Full fare?
Full.
Nice. There we go, folks.
All right. High fives around the office.
Yep. I high five right here too, buddy. So
okay.
The question I was asking is this. Remember when we first got started putting together some products for you, one of the things that I told you is don't try and make them perfect, just knock them out. Tell Jeffrey and tell everybody else who's watching, listening, whatever, a little bit about why that's good and why it worked for you.
Well, yeah, but, I think in any kind of brainstorming, it's important not to censor yourself, which is, at least that's my first instinct.
Yep.
I criticize everything that I think, I put it through that filter, but if you do that, you might miss some good stuff. So I think it's important to, as you instructed, just to let anything that comes to mind, anything, because as you go back and look at it and kind of work with it, you start to see things that you might have otherwise missed.
And what about actually putting some products together? You got very sort of turned on to the video thing, even though, it's sort of funny as a voiceover guy, most of the time nobody sees you. So why do you think video resonated with you other than your smashing good looks?
Well, I think that's number one. But aside from that, no, for some reason, I just feel really comfortable with it. And I think it's just one of those things I just kind of stumbled upon, and the feedback I got was so positive and so consistently positive, and people kept saying, wow, I really enjoy watching the videos, you seem like you're really relaxed and enjoy what you do, blah, blah, blah. So I just kept going with it, and it's been, I've actually been blown away by the response, and I keep getting, as a matter of fact, and I haven't told you yet this, Fred, but I just was contacted, actually, a guy just purchased my program who's one of the premier voiceover talent in America. His name is Dave Fenoy.
Holy moly.
Yeah, he is in a very elite class of voiceover talent. He ran with the Don LaFontaines.
Yeah, we need a testimonial from him, hopefully.
I've got it. As a matter of fact, I just sent it to Ermel, and it's one up on my website.
Nice. And is he a well-known entity in your field?
What's that?
Is he a well-known entity in the field?
Yeah, very well known.
Got it. And by the way, just so that everybody knows what we're talking about here, I'll add another tab and we'll go to voice-over. And so just, people can see what we're talking about here. And so, by the way,
if you go to
go ahead.
DaveFenoy.com is his website. At some point, if you want to check it out. But you've heard him tons of times.
Got it.
On commercial, video games, movie trailers, all that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
I have his endorsement. He's been spreading the word. Actually, he's been spreading. He had his buddies out in Los Angeles. He has a group that he works with out there. Check out one of my recent broadcasts. So
nice.
So good stuff. Yeah.
Nice. And the thing about this is that I think that Bill DeWeese has gone about this the right way, and I think that if you think about it, let's just put a timeline on this. So Bill DeWeese came to the boot camp in December of 2010, right?
2010, right? Yeah, it's a year ago.
So it's basically 13 months now. And one of the things that he did is you started cranking out at my insistence a whole bunch of videos and other things, and you've now tell people like what. Okay, let's just click on it. Are all the products listed here now?
Yes.
Okay. So here for Bill, we've got, he's cranked out. He's got the voiceover playbook, the audiobook success seminar videos, which was from the last audiobook seminar. We got one-on-one coaching. Now, if I click on this, does this take me somewhere good too?
Yeah. It goes to that site that we duplicated that looks like yours.
Okay, good. And so this one, let me just size this down because I'm video recording this on the screen here. So, yeah, so what happens is he's got lots of different things for people to, different ways for people to give him money. But the beauty about this is that it's taken him, most of his work, and Bill, for the last 12 months, 13 months, you've been concentrating. What would you tell people, including your wife, what have you been doing these last 12 months in the info products business?
I've been recording a lot of videos, I'll tell you that. Almost 90 now.
Videos.
And those are my blogs. I mean, they're video blogs, and there's some text with those, accompanying text as well. And I mean, that has been the majority by far. And I've used social media to promote that.
Now, the thing that's so impressive about Bill is everybody says, you need to have a lot of people. I mean, Bill, right now, give me your actual number of people on your list.
380, give or take.
Okay, so a list size of 380, and our SEO work has not even started to really kick in yet. Last I checked, the only thing you had cracked the top 10 for were the keyword string voice over business, and that was number 9 last I checked on Google.
Yeah.
But we have a number. The other ones we're targeting are voice over training, which I think is going to be the biggest one in terms of numbers, and voice over demo.
Yeah, we have some localized stuff like voice training Chicago, and I can't remember the other ones off the top of my head. But
got it. And so my point is here, folks, that look at this. Now, I'm not saying that Bill has made a bundle of money yet, but what he's done, let's be honest, I think you made like about 20K right now, right? About 20,000.
Yeah, a little less than that.
Okay, so just under 20,000, and people are saying, well, yeah, this isn't one of those like, make $90,000 in the next 2 months. Yeah, wrong webinar, folks. Not here. So this is actually real and create a real business. So just under 20,000. But here's the beauty of it. Once all of the SEO stuff kicks in, and all of a sudden this list size, let's just look at this, Bill, and extrapolate it. Let's say you build your list to 3,800 people. Given our numbers so far, I am guessing that then when you have 30. It'll be $200,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only, it's only logical that I would think. Now, one of the things, let's be honest, that you've done is because you have such a small number of 380, you've been able to do a lot of personalization to those folks, and I think that's important. So I think that, Bill is a great example, and Jeffrey's site is coming up. It'll be another great example. It's good. So I wanted to check in and talk to Dave Hamilton, put you on hold for a second here, Bill DeWeese. Dave Hamilton, your dad was nice enough to help me. He said he would with the site that I've got coming up. And by the way, this is important. Everybody, next Tuesday before the next webinar. Whoops. What? Oh, Sell Your. So here it is. SellYourBrainPower.com. My upcoming book, and everybody on the webinar, please, please, please do me a big favor. If you like this information, Jeffrey, tell all the Jewish girls and guys to go to this site. Everybody goes to this site on January 31st, which is next Tuesday. And if you order on that particular day and put your Amazon order number in right here, you're going to get a ton of free bonuses from a number of other people. We're still adding people to this list of bonuses that we have up. And if anybody wants to send me a bonus, please get in touch with me, fredgleek@gmail.com. I'll be happy to put up a bonus and have people come and get some of your stuff as well, because the bonuses. And so Dave's dad was nice enough, and let's promote his site, and that site it's negotiate what?
Yeah, keep negotiating.
Yeah, keepnegotiating.com. This is Dave's father, John, and John is one of the big gurus in the field of real estate, and I like this. What's mine is mine. What's yours is negotiable. Sounds like a man who's going to take your house right out from under you, doesn't it?
Yeah, imagine growing up with that being your dad.
That's great. So the point is that, he's been nice enough. And by the way, this is a good learning point as well. I went to Dave's dad and I sent him an email that said, hey, look, I know you like me and you think I'm a good guy, and you were nice enough to proofread my book for me, which he did, and he caught a bunch of errors, which is great. By the way, find 2 or 3 friends and have them proofread your stuff before you go out there with it. But one of the things that John Hamilton, when I sent John my email, I said, look, I don't really know if my book is a good match for your people. And I think a lot of times people go try and find people to help them promote stuff. And they're people that are completely in the wrong field. And so I said to him very honestly, if you don't feel that this is a good match with your list, I understand and I will not be offended. Now, your dad came back, Dave, and said, hey, you know what? I actually think that they should be expanding into this. And he was very generous to me and said, I'll be happy to promote it and try and get them there, on January 31st. And I said, well, that's great. I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that if you're trying to get people to help promote your stuff, if they have a list of basket weavers and you're doing a program on nuclear physics, it's probably not a good match. So don't try and push, the proverbial square peg into the round hole, because it doesn't make any sense. Because it'll actually would make him look foolish, and it'd make me look foolish, because there's just not a good match for these two things. But for example, in Avish's case, Avish, how big is your list these days?
It's about 2,200.
Okay, so Avish has a list of 2,200. I am hoping that a good percentage of those folks buy my book, because it's a good match, because he's dealing with professional speakers. And so it is a good match. So Avish, I don't know if you have crafted a good email to send to those guys yet, but I think that you could use me as an example and just say, look, Fred used to do and still does plenty of speaking, but as a result of him having this system, he doesn't have to speak unless he wants to, and when he does, he can speak at higher fees. And it seems to me a good sell. So as opposed to John Hamilton, I think you're a natural match. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so therefore, I'm not going to try and twist Avish's arm, but luckily, I know him well enough that I can say, hey, I really do think this is a good deal for them. And by the way, it's funny because we're asking people to spend. The book it's like $20, and we're giving them like $1,000 worth of bonuses. Which, by the way, it gets a little absurd because by the time some people put these things together, and by the time they've put together all their bonuses, its total is $353,000. It's just like a ridiculous amount of stuff. But as long as you've got a bunch of great bonuses and people who buy it on that day, and I will let everyone who is in on this, you know what? No, I won't say, I can't. But here's the deal. That offer is good for that day, which is, think about it. Here it is. You have to order it on January the 31st. If you don't order it on January the 31st, these bonuses aren't going to be available. So people spend the $20 and they get a ton of different bonuses from all different kinds of people, and there's going to be more that are going to go up. And so that's all about. Now, does anybody have any questions on that tip for me?
Yeah, Fred, I have a question I have not been able to find an answer to online, because I'm doing my own book launch in about 3 weeks after yours. Do you know with Amazon rankings, do they count Kindle and paperback sales separately?
My understanding is that they separate the numbers, the Kindle numbers, yes. So I would not offer the first go-round to try and get your numbers up on Amazon. I would not offer the Kindleized version yet.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Now, here's my other point on this, and this is really important. As far as I can see, and let's be honest about this, I want everybody on this webinar to buy my book. Please do buy it on January the 31st. But the reason for my doing that is to try and get Amazon to get me to some bestsellers category. So my goal here, the goal is to get to Amazon, quote, bestseller rankings or whatever they want to call it, okay? So that's my goal. But here's my thinking. If somebody said to me, would you rather be an Amazon bestseller, or would you rather sell 1,000, 1,500 copies of your book every month and not be an Amazon bestseller? My understanding is that I have pretty limited benefits from being an Amazon bestseller. Number one, a cash flow surge. So if I sell, 750 books on that day, it's going to make me a good bit of money. I think I end up getting like somewhere around $6 a book. So if I sold 700 of them, I'd make $4,200 on that day. That's, nothing to sneeze at, but it's not like massive numbers. But the other thing that I think the Amazon bestseller, it can attract other distribution options for you. Now, by that, I do not want to ever anymore, and I've made a decision, folks, and I think most people probably know this now about me, which is I am no longer going to do a book with a traditional publishing company, even if they made me an offer. I've now read so much about it. I've thought so much about it. I've looked at the numbers. And so my attitude here is traditional publishing deals do not make sense. So really, the only reason to become an Amazon bestseller is a cash flow surge and to attract other distributions options for you, i.e. foreign rights and things like that, foreign rights, distribution, etc. But I'm really now not convinced that being an Amazon bestseller is anything other than just bragging rights that you can put in your email signature file. I don't really see it. So if somebody said to me, would you rather sell 750 books on one day, or would you rather sell 1,000 books every month for the next 10 years, I'd probably take option 2, because I really don't see the value to me other than sort of a temporary cash flow surge. Now, that is not to say that everybody listening here shouldn't go buy it because you get all these bonuses on that particular day. But Avish, are you following my reasoning here?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I agree that we want the long-term repeated sales are more important than the one day burst. But is that going to change your strategy at all?
You know what? I don't think so. I'm going to try and do it this way, and frankly, but I'm not as. Here's the deal. If I don't become the #1 Amazon bestseller for that day, I'm not going to slip my wrists. It's just not that.
Yeah.
It's not that important to me. Is it important to me for bragging rights to say, yeah, I was able to pump a bunch of people to it? Oh, here's another thing. Previously with Amazon, you had to sort of let them know in advance that you were going to be doing some kind of a big launch, so they would have a bunch of books printed. I contacted the people and said, look, I think there's a chance I could sell between 500 and 1,000 books on this one particular day. Do you guys need to pre-print them or what? And they said, no, not a problem. So I don't know if that's real or if it's BS, but according to Amazon, there is not going to be a problem if, and by the way, don't buy it now, folks, but if you go to Amazon and you go to sell your brain power, and you look at this, and it's not even coming up #1 because nobody started buying it yet. Here it is, right? Oh, somebody already bought it. Crap. Who did? This is great. One customer review. Nice. This must be a family member here, folks.
It's my dad.
Oh, it is. Yeah, great. Well, that's close to family member. This is nice of him to do. And you know what?
One of
the other things is, could all of you guys, all the JV partners, could you go on to Amazon and if you need, my stuff, but if you need a copy, I'll send it to you. But I want to have at least 5 reviews up there before January 31st. So again, Dave's dad, people will pay to have access to what everyone is an expert, blah, blah, particularly step by step. I used my many techniques, he gave me a very nice review. That's great. Now, by the way, if you were to get 20 reviews, I would not want all of them to be 5-star reviews. And the reason for that is it looks too much like a setup. So at 5 reviews, I want all 5 stars. At 10, I sort of want 1 4-star in there. And every once in a while, and Avish, I think we've talked about this, every once in a while, somebody putting a 1-star review actually helps you.
Yeah.
Because the person is so out of line with what everyone else is saying that it makes their review look so stupid that it actually adds credibility.
Fred, if I could jump in, my brother, who's been to a lot of website conversion conferences, said that exactly what you said, but the average number was, it increases 67% if you have 1 bad review versus no bad reviews after like a certain number of reviews.
So my instincts are correct.
Yeah.
So according, and this is, by the way, always feel free to quote Dave Hamilton's brother because he works for a big company. And
he's in prison now, but it's
yeah, but it's for a nonviolent crime. So what do you? So according to his brother, sales increase by 67% if there is at least 1 negative review. Assuming you have a bunch of reviews, right?
That's right. That's right.
And it makes sense to me. I mean, I know how I am. I mean, you know, if I see something like every single friggin' review is positive, I look at it and just go, you know what? That's BS. There's no way that person, that everybody could love their stuff. I mean, is everybody in agreement with me here?
And you know what's funny, Fred, is
Yeah.
I work with a lot of local clients, and when they see on their Google Places, when they see somebody left them a bad review, it literally freaks them out. They lose sleep and they can't stop thinking. They say, "How can I get rid of that?" And I say, "Well, you can't, but it's okay because that's normal." But hopefully, people it'll settle out that this is how it goes. You're gonna get bad. In fact, if just one thing, in the conference my brother was at, where he was talking about companies that are worried about bad reviews, he said, look, everybody go to Google and put the name of their company and then the word sucks,
Yeah.
and you will find things. So it's just part of it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I think that, and by the way, tell people what your brother does.
There's a large furniture chain that does website delivery. It's down in the south here called Rooms to Go,
Yeah.
and my brother is helps to manage the website, but he's in charge of conversions for the entire website. They sell thousands of products. So Rooms to Go, all of this stuff is he's kind of behind the conversion, the tracking, and interestingly, they pay Google AdWords to the magnitude of 50 grand a month for their ads.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. 50K monthly. Yeah. And so he's in charge of both the SEO side and the paid search.
Yeah, well, conversion is kind of
Yeah.
clumped over into all of that, but yeah, he helps to run both the content and the user experience with everything.
Okay, well, while we're on the topic, why don't we talk about conversion issues? Now, I know you were a former pastor, so we're not talking that kind of conversion. So let's talk. Let's talk about what does he say some of the big ones are.
What do you mean?
In other words, if people are watching this webinar and are on the webinar and want to know how to increase their conversion rates on their sites, what would your brother say is the top 3 or 4 or 5 things?
Well, it's funny that it's the thing he would say is don't trust your opinion, test things.
Yeah.
Always, always, always test things. And it's like with their ads, they run a lot of ads, and they will have 10 concurrent ads, and they'll tweak one word, and they'll let it run. They'll tweak from something like get your free sofa to claim your free sofa to receive your free sofa, things like that. And it's just a numbers game, and increasing 0.1% for them is easily 6 figures. So every little bit of squeezing conversion. So I don't know if he would say there's one set thing, but he would say you measure everything and you test everything, and that's how you keep slowly climbing up.
Yeah, I that makes a lot of sense. And so now, one of the things that I guess, Avish, looking at speakingexpert.com, and let's take a look at that right now. If we're trying to now, it seems like our numbers here on traffic has been fairly static.
Yeah.
So traffic. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, the SEO, the search engine traffic has been static. I mean, we've been getting spikes because of the emails, and now some of the partners have started emailing regarding the teleseminar. So, but the straight search engine traffic we're trying to get has been static. Okay,
so now my question is, have you looked lately, where do we stand for our various keyword terms?
That's a good point. I have not looked lately. Let's see if I can bring that up.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering, I mean, Stanley sent me a list the other day, and I really don't think, I don't think I'm a genius. I just think that I've been at this for so long that I think that, there are 13 or 14 of my keywords that I'm either 1 or 2 for in Google. And so I don't think it's because, I think it's because I've got so much stuff on my site. And by the way, a little secret here, whenever I do these Kindle ebooks, I'm going to break up the content on the Kindle ebook and put it on my blog as well. I mean, so I'm going to reuse all of that content. So it's not just for the Kindle ebook that I'm creating them. Avish, when you get that, let us know.
Yeah, it's going to take a minute or two.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
a slow
So,
piece of software.
but my theory is here that and how many blog posts or how often have you been blogging on Speaking Expert these days?
Once or twice a week.
Yeah, once or
Get a
twice a
post
week.
up there.
I I think that again, if anybody wants to accelerate, and I guess I'm talking partially here to Jeff Greco as well, who's on the call, which is that if you want to, Jeff is in a situation where he came to me and said, "Look, Fred, I can do whatever you need for me to do full time," and so he's working on building his info products business on a full time basis. He has a luxury that most people don't. So he said to me, I realize that certain things, by definition, take time. The website and the SEO results is definitely one of them, which is that I don't care, if you try and do 30 blog posts a day, you can only move up in the search engines at a certain pace. But I'm thinking that, I'm thinking for Jeffrey, to get him going, Jeffrey, one of the things that you want, and again, Jeffrey's at findajewishwife.com. So Jeff Greco, to blog, at least, I mean, if you're really, Jeff has some time to do this, I would say blog once a day. And I also said to Jeffrey that you've got two kinds of posts that you put up, timely and timeless. And the whole idea here is that we want to make sure that, you have plenty of timeless posts up there, but the timely ones are the ones where if you see some kind of a news flash go across Yahoo and go, boy, I should write about this because it's something current, that's a timely post because it's related to a current events issue, whereas timeless, how to take a woman out to dinner properly is something that will probably remain more or less standard for a while. And any luck on that, Avish?
Yeah, we're at, for public speaking jobs, we're at 15, and for public speaking anxiety, we're at 32, and we are not on the list for the others.
Okay, so public speaking jobs, public speaking and anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And both of those are not on page one.
Correct.
Okay, so just to make, to get everybody very depressed here, if you're not on page one, the numbers tell us that close to 90, I think it's 96% of all, organic Google traffic goes to the folks on the first page. So that means that unless you're on page one, pretty much you're screwed. And so therefore, Avish, our being, anywhere other than on page one for any of those. Now, my thought here is that we could probably really, really take like one of those public speaking jobs or public speaking anxiety and try to super optimize for that page, which would include both on-page SEO kinds of stuff, but also getting backlinks and stuff to there as well. I mean, what is your theory as to why we haven't moved that much on those?
I don't really have a good one other than, maybe it's just sheer volume of posts targeted to specific keywords. We have a couple, those two are optimized for, so now it just needs more backlinking, I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not the search engine guru. That we have that in the form of the Ermel guy, and Ermel knows a lot about this. But my guess would be that that's responsible for a good deal of it. Is not not having the backlinks, because I mean, it's pretty much content and backlinks as the two primary one. Everything else is kind of separate. So maybe it would be worth it. I don't know if you can go on Fiverr and given our current results, I don't think it would hurt to go on Fiverr and see if we could get somebody to do some backlinks.
Yeah, I did that for public speaking anxiety, which I think what got it up to 15 at least. I got someone on there use the SE Mute program. I could try it again. I don't know if there's any downside to having someone else do some backlinking as well again.
I don't really know. Do you remember what Ermel said at our event, whether or not that was a negative thing?
I don't know. I can ask him, or I can just go on Fiverr and find someone who's going to do it in a different way.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would
I'm
ask
sure
Ermel.
there's lots of people that do backlinking, so.
Let's shoot Ermel an email and say, hey, you know what? If I'm not really doing this myself and I want to hire somebody else to do it, do you see a problem with doing it this way? I think it'd be worth asking him that question because he's pretty cool. He'll give you.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fellow Indian, he can't turn you down.
Oh yeah, we bond. So.
Have you invited him to the wedding? You should.
No, I have not.
Good present from Ermel. Who knows? Might give you
That's
free,
true.
Might give
That's
you free
true.
backlinks.
It would probably give me a good present. So.
Free backlinks. Free backlinks.
There you go. I'll tell him to give me SEO services for a wedding present.
So anyway, so that's good. So now, Dave, tell me if you can give us a little bit more information about some of your conversations with the folks, with Stu McLaren and the folks over at Wishlist with regards to what you're working on.
Well, the quick version for people that are wondering is I've been getting heavily into building membership sites, and not the traditional membership site where you have just gobs and gobs of content that you let people have just a membership and you keep adding more content, but more as a method of delivering products, whether video or large files. And I'm part of a community for this software called Wishlist, which is a plugin, really, really great for WordPress. But anyway, the community it's basically a membership site for membership site owners, and there, in the community are people that are really digging in. And for one client, Elliot Connie, he has a very unique site that he wants to have built, which I think tons of people would want to have, and that is Elliot's going to have 50 videos that he wants to sell individually. Not access to everything with one membership, but you can buy it in an a la carte type of format where I want to buy membership or video 1, 3, 7, and 54 or whatever. And the idea is, and what I'm calling it is a digital product vault. So your membership has a vault of all your videos that you've paid for access to. So anytime you log in, you can go and watch the videos you paid, or you can add a couple new videos to the vault. And people in the membership community are like, hey, that's a good idea. But there's some hurdles that we're overcoming with some custom programming and some, we're testing new plugins out. But bottom line, I would think a lot of people would love this to be able to.
Why is this so different and unique compared to other stuff that's out there?
Well, the difference is typically with a membership site, you may have 3 different levels, say silver, gold, and platinum, and you have access to different, areas of the site. What's different here is Elliot's going to have 50 levels, which adds a bit of complexity, but there's the ability to have a dashboard where all of your current levels are listed, and you can add to it and make it very, very user-friendly. Without getting too techy, there's a lot of challenges. For instance, in the current setup, you can only buy 1 level at a time. Well, he's having 50, and to have somebody have to go back 50 times to buy, unless you bought them all.
First Dave, let's step back a second. For people listening or watching this, their confusion is, why do you need to have this kind of system to deliver videos?
Yeah, that's a good question. In the premises, there's only 3 ways you can deliver products to people. You can ship them through the mail, you can ask them to download them instantly, but with a 60-minute video that's 200 megabytes, you cannot ask customers to download and say you don't want to ship DVDs for every customer. Your only option is to send them to a site where you just sell access to it. And the videos are embedded into those pages and stream live when you have access to get to the actual page. Right. So we're not selling the videos, we're selling access to watch the videos.
Right, and so what this does is it makes it so we don't have to create any physical product, but we also allow people to pick and choose a la carte videos that they might want to watch, and so that they then get access if they buy videos number 1, 3, 14, 18, and 94, that they get access to those individuals, but don't get access to those numbered videos that they did not buy.
Exactly. It's like buying keys to a big, building with lots of rooms, and you buy whichever keys you want to access, and those are the only ones you're allowed to go visit when you're in there.
Now, Avish, I think that, for our stuff, in the future, especially with all the stuff having to do with improv for speakers and improv for consultants, all those kinds of things, there could be a lot of good stuff having to do with this kind of an arrangement, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. With the videos we have and stuff, and whether it's a membership side or straight sales, I think that'd be something definitely to work towards once we get a responsive list going.
Yep, and I think that so let's take, for example, Dave. Let's make it again, sticking with the fact that we've been talking a little bit about Jeffrey Greco's site. So let's just say that on findajewishwife.com that he has these 16. So he's got 16 modules, right? 16 modules, and again, he's going to have a combination of audio, video, and text, probably in PDF form. PDFs probably. So tell me how this would work with somebody like Jeffrey's site.
Well, I think it's a perfect setup. Say there were 16 modules, and you think about it, he's only got two options. He could burn a stack of DVDs or CDs or whatever and ship them out to people. He could zip everything into one big file and ask people to download it, but good luck with that. Really, what I think he should do is, if he had a site where he had 16 pages on it, and he added the content into each of those 16 and called them Module 1, Module 2, up to 16, and then he protected it and sold access to each one, or for a discount price, you get all site access. It's instant, and he doesn't have to worry about it. But I would also say, and this is what we're doing with Elliot, some people do want a physical product. Some people would want Jeffrey's 16 DVDs on their shelf. They could watch at home. And that's something that can be done too. But to give them the option of instant access for a discounted price, click here.
Yep.
Or physical product for twice the price, but we'll send it to you, click here.
Or option 3 is buy the physical product, but get access to it as well instantly now.
Yeah, exactly. And we're considering, and what do you think? If somebody buys the DVD, should they get instant access anyway, or?
I think that you should just do a little bit of a bump upsell, and maybe, let's say, well, it all depends on what the product's going to cost. Let's say that the DVD that Elliot is selling is $57, as an example, right?
Okay.
If somebody said to me, I want to buy the physical product, I would do a really ridiculous upsell for like anywhere between 8 and 10%. So they want to buy the physical product. It's $57 for the physical. I would give them when they check out, a $5 upsell to get immediate access. Upsell.
Yeah.
To get immediate access as well. So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Now, again, this is a little bit different than what The Economist does. If you have a physical subscription to The Economist magazine, you get your web access is included. But I think in a case like this, it actually makes sense to me to just bump it up at a very, very small additional price.
So there'd be three options.
Yep.
Instant access, DVDs, or combination.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Physical.
That's good.
Physical access, or both, or combo. That way, because at least for me, if I bought the physical DVD and I was excited because I just made this purchase, I would also want to see what it's like right away. And I would be willing to pay, if it's $57 and you said, hey, for an extra $5, you can get access to this, I would give them access to that DVD and maybe 1 or 2 sort of specials that you don't sell at all, so they feel there's value.
Yeah, yeah. That's smart. That's exactly what we'll do, and it'd be interesting to see what people opt for, because I know I like to have stuff instantly. I don't want to wait 7 to 10 days for it to show up in the mail.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
You know, speaking of which, you just made me think of something, and if somebody can remind me, actually, I'll try and remind myself, but remind me as well. One of the things that I should be doing back here on, www.sellyourbrainpower is I think that when someone gives me their name and email address and their Amazon order, I should have my own book available for them to get instantly.
The download?
Yeah.
Ah.
Because if you think about it, if you're going to order the book from Amazon, if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you get it in 2 days. But why shouldn't you have access to my book? I think that'll be an added incentive. I'm going to ask, remind me if you would, Dave, just because I'm sitting here and I'm not writing it, I'll write it.
Yeah, I'll shoot you an email.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. It's a good
because
idea.
I think that makes sense. Does that make sense to you, Avish?
Oh yeah, absolutely. People can read it right away.
So now, how is that going to affect? Would you do the same thing on to promote your book?
Well, I'm doing something a little different, which I'm curious what your opinion on this is. So my book's right now I'm scheduling it for I think Tuesday, February 20th or something like that, 21st.
Yep, and let's give the name of the book to people.
It's Say Yes And at sayyesand.com.
So it's Say Yes and it's sayyesand.com. Okay, and so tell me about. Can we go there? Is there anything in there or not yet?
Yeah, it's up. It's not. I'm still waiting for a top banner, but other than that, it's in pre-launch state. So because part of it, the whole point of this book is to sell it, but also really this is the entree to get speaking and training work.
Right.
So I'm doing this at the bottom. You can see is that it's coming out on the 22nd. For about 4 days before, from like the preceding Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to drive as many people as possible there to grab a free PDF copy before it comes out, which will put them on a list, which will allow me to mail them and say, look, I know you got it for free, but buy it here. You get a physical copy of the book, plus you get, over however many dollars with bonuses. Plus it just gets the book in PDF form in more people's hands.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that base that I give the book to Monday to Thursday, I can reach out to on Friday and say, you got the book, do me a favor, it's coming out Tuesday. Could you go on Amazon and give me a review so that I can get more reviews before it comes out too?
Yeah. Well, one of the things is that, again, and help me with this, you may know the answer to this, Avish, because I'm not sure if I do. When you review books on Amazon, there's people who can review your books, and there are people that are verified purchasers that review, correct?
I've seen that next to some people. I have not. I haven't really looked into what that distinction is.
Right, and to me, there's
I've
one.
seen some kind of
a graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in and out a little bit, so I'm thinking that the Amazon reviews, most people can't tell if you're a quote verified. I think it says verified purchaser or something like that.
Let me see.
I think that's what they say. But anyway, I mean, so everybody here could go on to Say Yes and on Amazon and give you a review. Like, could I do that right now, kind of thing?
No, I'm still waiting to get the final proof to get it into the system, so it's not on Amazon yet.
Got it. Perfect. Well, I think that there's a lot. We've talked a lot about a lot of different stuff today, and I really appreciate a lot of people on the call or on the webinar. And thanks for being here. We do these, by the way, every Wednesday. Please be with us again, because all I do is go over with my JV partners what's going on. So, Dave, any final comments?
No, I'm looking forward to buying a book on Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks for your help, everyone. And if everybody could, again, go on January 31st and buy the book, I would be eternally grateful. You'll get a bunch of great bonuses. So, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Again, we'll see you again next Wednesday. Avish, Dave, and Bill, who's no longer here. Thanks for being here.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
The organizer has ended the session and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.